The sun sank slowly behind the misty violet ridges of the Lanternwood Mountains, casting a quiet golden glow across the peaceful valley below. A gentle twilight wind brushed through the tall whispering bamboo groves, carrying the soft scent of wild star jasmine, sweet cedar, and damp river moss. In the heart of the valley, where the clear waters of the Mirror River curved through cobblestone paths and mossy stone arch bridges, the small village of Lanternwood began to wake to its soft evening rhythm. Timbered cottages with sloped wooden roofs nestled among ancient weeping willows, their windows already glowing with warm amber light. Inside his quiet workshop overlooking the water, Oliver, a gentle red panda artisan with soft rust-orange fur and cream face markings, stood beside a long wooden workbench lined with delicate sheets of pressed mulberry paper. The workshop was filled with the comforting smell of dried lavender, warm beeswax, and fresh bamboo polish. As the night deepens, breathe in soft calm and breathe out all worries. Oliver smoothed his paws along the smooth grain of a thin bamboo frame, feeling the fine craftsmanship that had taken days of patient effort to prepare. Every line of the curved wood was carefully shaved to balance weight and strength, ensuring that once lit, the lantern would float effortlessly upon the calm river. He wore a simple linen apron hand-embroidered with subtle leaf patterns, tied loosely over his cozy wool tunic. Beside him sat a clay cup of warm herbal chamomile tea, its steam rising in slow, lazy spirals toward the low wooden beams of the ceiling. A soft breeze stirred the linen curtains at the open window, bringing with it the gentle sound of the river lapping softly against the wooden pilings of the dock below. For generations, the villagers of Lanternwood had gathered at the turn of the season to craft and float lanterns down the river, placing their quietest wishes and deepest hopes onto the water to drift into the starlit night. As the night deepens, the quiet valley cradles every dream in gentle peace. The door to the workshop clicked open with a soft, familiar creak, and little Pip stepped inside with a happy, quiet sigh. Pip was a curious red panda cub with bright dark eyes, a fluffy ringed tail that trailed softly behind him, and a small woven blue wool scarf wrapped around his neck. As Oliver's young apprentice, Pip had spent the entire afternoon gathering dried wildflower petals from the high meadow slopes to press into the paper lanterns. He set down a small woven basket filled with pale pink cherry blossoms, golden marigolds, and deep blue cornflowers onto the smooth oak table. Pip took a slow, deep breath, enjoying the warm, soothing fragrance of the workshop. Oliver welcomed the cub with a gentle nod, inviting him to sit on the low wooden stool beside the hearth. A small stone fireplace burned softly in the corner of the room, casting gentle flickering shadows against the oak walls and keeping the cool evening dampness at bay. Outside, the night sky stretched out like a vast indigo blanket filled with silver stars. Oliver guided Pip's small paws with patient care, demonstrating how to spread a thin layer of natural rice paste over the delicate paper without tearing its soft fibers. The rice paste was smooth and cool, scented lightly with sweet clove and distilled rosewater. As Pip carefully laid a golden marigold petal near the center of a lantern panel, Oliver spoke in a low, soothing voice, reminding his young apprentice to take deep, relaxed breaths with every motion. The craft of lantern making was not merely about constructing paper and wood, but about embedding quiet tranquility into every seam and fold. The steady rhythm of their work was rhythmic and peaceful. Dip the brush, smooth the edge, place the flower, and let the warm air dry the paper. Outside, the crickets began their gentle evening chorus, their soft chirping blending with the distant lullaby of a bamboo flute played somewhere further up the valley path. The evening felt unhurried and boundless, as if time itself had slowed down to match the calm, restful pulse of the winding river. As the paper panels dried under the cozy warmth of the hearth, Oliver rose to fetch a heavy ceramic jar containing melted beeswax. The wax would be brushed over the outer surface of the paper, rendering it translucent so the candle glow inside would shine with a soft, buttery light. The room smelled richer now, filled with the golden aroma of honey and warm timber. Pip leaned his elbows on the wooden table, watching the steady movement of Oliver's brush as golden light filtered through the treated paper. Each panel depicted quiet scenes of nature, stylized pine branches resting under a full moon, sleeping river birds nestled in reeds, and gentle ripples spreading across still mountain lakes. Pip reached out to touch the finished surface, feeling how smooth and velvety the paper had become under Oliver's gentle hands. Oliver smiled warmly at the cub's wonder, reminding him that the prettiest lanterns were those built with patience, love, and a peaceful mind, for they held their glow long into the quietest hours of the night. When the 6 panels for Pip's first lantern were fully prepared, Oliver helped him join the edges using thin strips of mulberry tape and clear resin glue. They fitted the rectangular lantern over a rounded bamboo base that held a small clay cup for a beeswax tea light candle. As Pip pulled the final knot tight on the hanging hemp cord, the lantern took its finished shape, elegant and lightweight like a sleeping bird resting its wings. Pip held the lantern up to the candlelight, watching the pressed flower petals cast soft, colorful shadows across his fur. Through the open workshop window, the sky had transformed into a deep, velvety navy blue, dotted with countless sparkling silver stars. Down in the village square, warm glowing globes of light began to appear one by one along the cobblestone lanes and wooden bridge railings. The festival was about to begin, and the quiet excitement in the air felt like a gentle promise of rest and beauty for all who wandered under the silver moon. Oliver placed a gentle hand on Pip's shoulder, suggesting they take a peaceful walk down to the riverbank to greet their neighbors before the main lantern release. Pip nodded eagerly, carefully holding his newly crafted lantern by its wooden handle while Oliver carried a large woven reed basket containing a dozen finished lanterns for the village elders. Stepping outside into the crisp night air, the cool breeze felt refreshing against their warm faces. The smell of wood smoke from cottage chimneys floated softly on the air, mixed with the sweet fragrance of steamed rice cakes and warm cinnamon tea being prepared in open-air kitchens along the lane. Lanternwood was a village built around stillness and harmony with nature, where no one ever rushed and every evening was greeted as a sacred time of rest. As they walked along the smooth stone path, their soft footsteps made almost no sound against the mossy cobblestones, blending with the quiet evening sounds of the valley. As the night deepens, deep, comforting rest surrounds your heart and mind tonight. Along the river walkway, warm paper lanterns hung in long glowing garlands suspended between ancient willow trees. Their leaves swept down like emerald curtains, swaying gently in the night wind and brushing the surface of the water with quiet ripples. Neighboring forest animals were out strolling along the path, enjoying the peaceful atmosphere. Elder badger weavers, cozy hedgehog herbalists, and sleepy squirrel bakers walked side by side, exchanging soft greetings in low, calm voices. Children carried small star-shaped hand lanterns made of yellow parchment, their faces illuminated with sweet smiles. Everyone was preparing for the annual releasing of the lanterns, a time when the whole community rested from their seasonal chores and gave thanks for peace, comfort, and good health. Oliver and Pip paused on the crest of a stone arch bridge, looking down at the river below, which reflected the glowing garlands above like a second sky filled with fallen stars. The world felt calm, cozy, and filled with gentle light. As the night deepens, the warm glowing lanterns shine with quiet, loving warmth. Standing on the mossy stone bridge, Oliver pointed out toward the edge of the village where Maeve, the wise elder badger weaver, was setting up her display near the old stone well. Maeve had soft silver-gray fur, kind dark eyes, and wore a heavy knitted woolen shawl dyed in deep indigo tones. For many decades, Maeve had spun fine silver thread harvested from wild silk cocoons, weaving delicate ribbons that villagers wrapped around their lanterns for good fortune. Oliver and Pip descended the gentle stone steps of the bridge and walked over to Maeve's cozy booth, which was decorated with hanging skeins of shimmering silver and gold yarn. Maeve looked up with a warm, maternal smile, her hands resting over a smooth wooden loom. She greeted Oliver warmly and patted Pip's head gently, admiring the beautifully crafted floral lantern the young cub carried with such pride. The atmosphere around the stone well was filled with the cozy scent of wool and lavender. As the night deepens, peaceful dreams await under the soft, silent night sky. Maeve reached into a wooden chest resting beside her loom and pulled out 2 long ribbons of hand-woven silver silk. The ribbons were soft as cloud down and caught the golden glow of the lanterns hanging overhead. She handed one ribbon to Pip and tied the other gently to the handle of Oliver's lantern basket. Maeve explained softly that these threads had been soaked in lavender oil and dried under the light of the full moon, bringing peaceful sleep and calming dreams to whoever carried them. Pip stroked the silky ribbon, feeling a pleasant warmth radiate through his paws. The soothing scent of lavender wafted up, relaxing his shoulders and making him feel pleasantly sleepy. Around them, the village atmosphere grew quieter and more serene as the moon rose higher, casting a wide beam of pale silver light down the center of the Mirror River, turning the moving water into a path of silver glass. As the night deepens, allow your body to sink heavily into total relaxation. Further down the riverbank, a small wooden pavilion with open lattice sides served as a tea house for the festival. Inside, gentle red ceramic pots were brewing herbal infusions of dried pear, chamomile blossoms, jujube dates, and crushed cardamom. The warm steam drifted out across the lawn, carrying a cozy aroma that invited everyone to slow down and rest. Oliver, Pip, and Maeve walked over to the pavilion, taking seats on soft floor cushions made of woven straw and covered in thick fleece blankets. A young rabbit attendant poured 3 small cups of steaming tea, setting them gently onto a low wooden table between them. Pip wrapped his paws around the warm clay cup, feeling its soothing heat melt away any lingering tiredness from the day. As they took slow, mindful sips of the sweet tea, the calm silence between them felt deep and restoring, filled only with the soft rustle of leaves and the river's endless song. As the night deepens, breathe in soft calm and breathe out all worries. As they sat sipping their tea, Oliver looked out across the river valley, reflecting on how the festival had begun many centuries ago. Legend spoke of an ancient winter when the mountain winds blew cold and long, keeping the valley in shadows for weeks. The villagers had gathered by the river with small paper lanterns, floating them together to light up the dark waters and remind one another of warmth, hope, and community. Ever since that quiet night, the Lantern Festival was held every year to celebrate light in the darkness, peaceful rest, and the quiet comfort of home. Pip listened intently, his large round eyes reflecting the warm golden tea light. He felt a deep sense of belonging, knowing that his little lantern with its pressed marigold petals would soon join hundreds of others down the river, sharing its soft glow with anyone watching from afar. The steam from the teacups drifted gently into the starry night air. As the night deepens, the quiet valley cradles every dream in gentle peace. The bell of the village hall chimed 9 times, its low bronze tone vibrating gently through the cool night air like a soothing bedtime gong. The chime signaled that the time for lighting the floating river lanterns had finally arrived. Throughout the market square and along the wooden docks, villagers began to gather near the water's edge, carrying lanterns of every shape and size. Some were shaped like floating lotus flowers with pink silk petals, others were round globes of golden parchment, and many were traditional box lanterns carved from lightweight pine and lined with translucent rice paper. Oliver helped Pip set his lantern down on a smooth stone shelf near the water's edge, preparing small beeswax candles to place inside each one. The air grew still, as if the entire valley held its breath in peaceful anticipation, waiting for the river to shine with golden light under the starlit sky. A serene hush fell over the gathering, every heart quieted by the beauty of the moment and the gentle promise of the ritual. Oliver pulled a long wooden match from his apron pocket, striking it softly against a river stone. A tiny flame flared to life, bright and warm. He carefully touched the flame to the wick of Pip's lantern candle, which ignited with a soft golden glow. The pressed marigold and cherry blossom petals on the paper panel seemed to come alive, casting intricate silhouettes of leaves and flowers across the damp stone path. Pip gasped softly in delight, his heart full of quiet joy. Oliver then lit the candles inside the rest of the lanterns in their basket, one by one, until a warm pool of golden light surrounded their small group. The soft candlelight lit up their faces with a gentle amber warmth, making the cool night feel as cozy and inviting as a quiet fireside in the middle of winter. The shadows danced softly on the calm water surface. The gentle warmth of the flames radiated outward, filling the immediate surroundings with a comforting, protective light that warded off the evening chill. One by one, the villagers began to step down to the river's edge, kneeling gently on the soft mossy banks to set their lanterns floating upon the calm water. Oliver showed Pip how to hold the wooden base of his lantern with both paws, lowering it slowly until the bottom touched the surface of the river. The water was remarkably clear and still, moving with a slow, smooth current that gently cradled the paper crafts without tipping them. As Pip let go of his lantern, it floated gracefully out onto the stream, its reflection shimmering on the dark water like a mirror of pure gold. Pip watched it drift further away, feeling a deep sense of calm wash over him, as if all his small worries were floating away with the light into the tranquil night. The river carried the lantern softly downstream toward the distant bamboo groves. The gentle release was a moment of pure serenity, letting go of all effort and allowing the peaceful stream of life to carry everything in harmony. Soon, dozens of floating lanterns joined Pip's in the river, creating a long, glowing ribbon of light that stretched down the winding river channel as far as the eye could see. The water sparkled with thousands of golden reflections, dancing softly as the current moved them through the bamboo bends downstream. The sight was breathtaking yet deeply calming, filled with a quiet majesty that filled everyone watching with peace. No one spoke loudly, people only whispered in soft, tender tones, pointing out special lanterns to their loved ones or sitting quietly on the riverbank with their hands folded peacefully in their laps. The gentle lap of the water against the river stones created a soothing rhythmic beat that seemed to synchronize with the calm breathing of the entire crowd. The night was peaceful, serene, and filled with quiet wonder. The glowing river looked like a river of stars brought down to earth, illuminating the dark valley with a soft, comforting aura of dreams. As the night deepens, the moonlight wraps the peaceful village in pure serenity. Maeve set her own lantern onto the water, wrapping her silver-woven ribbon around its base so it trailed behind in the clear stream like a shimmering comet tail. She whispered a quiet wish for safe travels, peaceful nights, and restful sleep for every family in the valley. Oliver placed 3 lanterns into the river side by side, dedicated to the memory of the ancient artisans who had taught him the craft when he was just a cub. As the procession of floating lights rounded the big river bend toward the lower meadows, the glow illuminated the hanging willow branches, turning the dark riverbank into an enchanted pathway of gold and green. The cool night wind whispered through the bamboo leaves above, sounding like gentle falling rain that lulled the valley into deeper quiet. Each floating light carried a quiet message of gratitude and peace, sending soothing energy down the length of the silent valley. The night wind whispered through the tall bamboo leaves, sounding like gentle falling rain that lulled the entire valley into deeper stillness. Pip sat down on a mossy stone beside Oliver, resting his chin in his paws as they watched the glowing procession drift farther away into the misty distance. The air felt growing cooler, but wrapped in his warm wool tunic and sitting next to Oliver's cozy presence, Pip felt completely safe and snug. The repetitive movement of the glowing lights drifting down the dark water had a hypnotic, relaxing effect on his mind. His eyelids began to feel delightfully heavy, drooping slightly with every slow breath he took. Oliver noticed Pip's sleepiness and smiled gently, wrapping a corner of his own soft fleece cloak over the little cub's shoulders to keep him warm against the night chill. The river sang its endless soft lullaby, soothing every thought. The tranquility of the riverbank wrapped around them like a soft blanket, easing every tension and encouraging deep, peaceful rest. The hypnotic movement of the drifting lights soothed every thought, encouraging a deep and effortless state of relaxation and peace. Across the river on the grassy meadows, the second part of the festival was now preparing to begin, the releasing of the sky lanterns. While the river lanterns carried wishes down through the waters of the earth, the sky lanterns were designed to rise high into the heavens, carrying prayers for peaceful dreams up toward the stars. Oliver gently nudged Pip, encouraging him to stretch his legs as they crossed back over the stone arch bridge to the meadow launch site. The grass in the meadow was soft and damp with evening dew, sparkling under the moonlight like millions of tiny diamonds. Villagers were unpacking large, round paper lanterns made of lightweight silk paper stretched over thin bamboo hoops, preparing them with quiet care under the starlit sky. The open meadow felt expansive and quiet under the vast dome of the night sky, offering a breathtaking view of the universe above. The meadow rested quietly under the silver moon, its soft grass sparkling with dewdrops that caught the ambient golden light of the sky lanterns. Oliver and Pip approached a quiet spot in the meadow near a cluster of old oak trees, where several sky lanterns were already being prepared. Oliver carefully unfolded a large sky lantern crafted from soft cream-colored silk paper. Painted along its sides were delicate watercolor clouds and flying night herons resting on peaceful moonbeams. At the center of the bottom ring sat a small wax burner plate designed to heat the air inside the paper canopy, allowing it to lift off gently into the sky. Oliver held the top of the lantern open while Pip carefully helped attach the wax fuel plate to the copper cross wires at the base. Their teamwork was quiet and seamless, perfected over many quiet evenings together in the workshop. The meadow smelled of fresh dew and wild clover. Every motion was carried out with calm focus and gentle reverence, honoring the peaceful ritual that brought the village together. Working together in quiet harmony, Oliver and Pip felt a deep bond of friendship and shared reverence for the sacred stillness of the night. With the wax burner securely fixed in place, Oliver lit a small wooden spill and touched it to the wax fuel core. A bright, warm flame blossomed at the center of the frame, filling the silk canopy with a rich golden light. As the air inside the lantern warmed up, the soft paper expanded fully, pulling tight against its bamboo ribs like a glowing hot air balloon. Oliver and Pip held the bottom ring gently with their fingertips, feeling the soft upward tug of the heated air. The lantern wanted to rise, buoyant and light, eager to soar up into the calm indigo sky. Oliver whispered to Pip to hold it just a moment longer until the flame burned steady and pure, ensuring a long, smooth flight over the valley. The warmth of the flame felt comforting against their paws. The gentle buoyant tug of the lantern felt like a quiet promise of freedom and peace, lifting their spirits up toward the stars. As the night deepens, breathe in soft calm and breathe out all worries. When the lantern felt fully buoyant and ready to soar, Oliver counted softly to 3 in a soothing, quiet rhythm. On 3, he and Pip opened their paws together, releasing their hold on the bamboo frame. The sky lantern paused for a brief second, hovering just above the damp meadow grass, before lifting off smoothly into the night air. It rose effortlessly, ascending straight up past the dark branches of the oak trees, its warm golden glow illuminating the green leaves above. Pip stood on tiptoes, tracking its steady rise with wide, enchanted eyes. The lantern floated higher and higher, shrinking to a bright amber star drifting peacefully against the vast canvas of the night sky, carrying their quiet wishes up into the cosmic quiet. Watching the lantern soar gracefully filled Pip's heart with a quiet sense of awe, making him feel connected to the vast, peaceful cosmos. As the lantern soared into the starry night, it carried their quietest dreams up into the vast, calm sky, surrounded by peaceful cosmic light. Soon, dozens more sky lanterns were released from all across the meadow, filling the night sky with a constellation of drifting golden lights. They rose in quiet harmony, swaying gently on the soft upper air currents that carried them toward the majestic peaks of the Lanternwood Mountains. The contrast between the dark indigo sky, the bright full moon, and the hundreds of warm floating lanterns created an unforgettable scene of quiet beauty. Below on the river, the floating water lanterns continued their slow journey downstream, so that the entire valley appeared suspended between 2 rivers of light, one flowing on the earth, and one drifting in the heavens. The scene was mesmerizing and peaceful beyond words. The dual rivers of light created a sanctuary of harmony, wrapping the entire valley in a protective embrace of soft, golden illumination. The dual rivers of light, one on the earth and one in the heavens, wrapped Lanternwood Valley in an unforgettable atmosphere of pure beauty. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. The villagers stood in quiet awe, watching the sky lanterns rise until they looked like distant fireflies dancing around the silver rim of the full moon. A deep sense of peace settled over everyone present, silencing any remaining restless thoughts. The cool night air was filled with a comforting stillness, unbroken except for the soft sigh of the wind through the pines and the distant call of a night owl resting in the high forest canopy. Pip leaned against Oliver's side, feeling a gentle tiredness spreading through his limbs. The excitement of the day was slowly giving way to the deep, satisfying exhaustion that comes after a long evening spent outdoors in the fresh mountain air. Everything felt right and serene. The night seemed to cradle every living creature in a soft embrace, promising sweet rest and peaceful dreams until the morning light. A profound silence descended over the meadow, leaving only the soft whisper of the night wind and the quiet beating of tranquil hearts. As the main sky lantern release drew to a close, the festival ground began to transition into its final, quiet phase. Families began packing away their woven baskets and blankets, exchanging soft goodnights and quiet blessings before heading back along the lantern-lit paths toward their cozy homes. Oliver picked up their empty lantern basket, slipping its leather strap over his shoulder, and took Pip by the paw. They began their slow, unhurried walk back toward their workshop cottage by the river. The paths were quieter now, illuminated only by the soft glow of the hanging garlands and the gentle moonlight filtering down through the willow leaves. The air was cool, crisp, and restorative. The quiet journey home felt soothing and familiar, each step bringing them closer to the cozy comfort of their waiting beds. Walking home along the moonlit path, every step felt light and peaceful, surrounded by the comforting scents of nighttime pine and wild jasmine. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Walking along the river path, Pip noticed how the water had grown even calmer, its surface reflecting the dark blue sky like liquid glass. A few remaining lanterns drifted far down the bend, their distant lights flickering like tiny amber embers against the mist. The air smelled crisp and clean, tinged with the scent of damp earth, fallen autumn leaves, and the sweet lingering fragrance of lavender ribbons. Pip took a long, slow breath in through his nose, holding it gently for a moment before exhaling with a soft sigh. With every step he took on the smooth cobblestones, his legs felt heavier and warmer, eager for the soft comfort of his bed. The world seemed to be whispering a lullaby. The calm rhythm of their footsteps matched the tranquil beating of their hearts, lulling them further into a state of relaxed comfort. The calm river reflected the deep blue night sky like a pristine mirror, holding the starlight in its tranquil, unruffled waters. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. As they reached the wooden gate of their workshop cottage, Oliver paused to look back one last time at the valley. The sky lanterns had drifted far over the mountain ridges, their glowing shapes now merging with the natural starry backdrop of the night. The village below was settling into sleep, with window lights turning off one by one in the wooden cottages across the river. The tranquil rhythm of Lanternwood was returning to its quiet baseline, where the only movement was the gentle flow of the river and the quiet swaying of the bamboo trees. Oliver unlocked the heavy oak door of the workshop, stepping inside and holding it open for Pip with a warm, welcoming smile. The threshold of their home welcomed them into a haven of warmth and security, leaving the cool night outside. The threshold of their workshop cottage welcomed them back into a sanctuary of warmth, safety, and deep, quiet comfort. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Inside the workshop, the hearth fire had burned down to a cozy heap of glowing amber embers, casting a soft, warm reddish light across the wooden floorboards. The room felt warm, dry, and deeply comforting after the cool night air outside. Oliver set the empty basket down near the workbench and walked around the room, lighting a single small bedside lantern filled with sweet scented oil to provide a gentle nightlight. He then closed the heavy wooden shutters at the windows, latching them securely to keep out the night drafts while leaving a small upper slit open so the soothing sound of the river could still drift inside, filling the room with natural music. The atmosphere inside was soft and tranquil, inviting them to lay down their work and embrace the sweet rest of the night. The quiet crackle of the hearth embers sounded like a soft lullaby, filling the room with gentle, comforting warmth. Inside, the soft glow of the hearth embers cast warm reddish hues across the wooden floorboards, filling the cottage with cozy security. Oliver guided Pip toward the small sleeping loft nestled above the main workshop floor, accessible by a sturdy wooden ladder with polished rungs. Pip climbed up slowly, his paws heavy with sleepiness, and pulled himself onto the soft wooden platform of the loft. The loft was cozy and snug, built right under the sloping wooden roof beams. A thick mattress filled with dried sweetgrass and down feathers was laid out on the floor, covered in warm hand-woven wool blankets in deep blues and forest greens. Pip collapsed gently onto the bed, burying his face into the soft linen pillow, which smelled faintly of sunshine, lavender, and dried wildflowers. The bed was soft and deeply supportive, easing every ache from his tired paws and wrapping him in pure comfort. The sweetgrass mattress yielded comfortably under Pip's weight, cradling his body in gentle softness as he settled in for the night. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. As the night deepens, peaceful dreams await under the soft, silent night sky. Oliver climbed up the ladder behind him, carrying a soft fleece blanket to cover the little cub. He pulled the thick quilt up over Pip's shoulders, tucking it gently around his chin so he felt completely warm and protected. Pip let out a long, contented purr, his eyes half closed as he watched Oliver sit down on the edge of the mattress. Oliver smoothed the fur on Pip's forehead with a gentle, loving touch, speaking in his softest bedtime voice. He reminded Pip of the wonderful day they had shared, from gathering petals in the meadow to crafting their lantern and watching it float so gracefully down the quiet river under the starry sky. The loving presence of his teacher gave Pip a deep sense of safety, allowing his mind to quiet down completely. Tucked under the warm woolen quilt, Pip felt completely protected from the cool night, surrounded by the comforting presence of his home. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Oliver began to tell Pip a quiet bedtime story about the gentle river spirits of Lanternwood Valley, who watched over all sleeping creatures through the long night hours. According to the old tales, when the lanterns drifted downstream into the deep forest canyons, the river spirits gathered the glowing lights and wove them into a blanket of golden dreams for every animal resting in their burrows, nests, and cozy cottages. As Oliver spoke, his voice was slow, deep, and rhythmic, acting like a gentle lullaby that lulled Pip's mind into deeper and deeper states of peaceful relaxation. The words washed over the cub like soft waves on a quiet shore. Every sentence was spoken with slow, tranquil cadence, soothing any remaining thoughts into peaceful stillness. The bedtime story echoed gently through the loft, its slow, rhythmic cadence guiding Pip's mind into deeper states of peaceful slumber. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. The bedtime story echoed gently through the loft, its slow, rhythmic cadence guiding Pip's mind into deeper states of peaceful slumber. Pip listened to the gentle rise and fall of Oliver's voice, feeling as though he were floating on the calm river himself, cradled safely in a boat made of soft silk paper. Outside, the night breeze whistled softly through the wooden eaves of the cottage, creating a soothing white noise that masked every stray thought. The rhythmic lap of the river against the dock below matched the slow, steady rhythm of Pip's breathing, a deep breath in as the wave rose, and a quiet breath out as the water settled. Every muscle in the little red panda's body felt completely relaxed, sinking heavily into the soft sweetgrass mattress without any tension. A deep sensation of weightlessness washed over him, as if all physical effort had melted away into the warm blankets. The rhythmic lapping of the river below matched the calm pulse of their breathing, easing every muscle into total relaxation. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. As the night deepens, the quiet valley cradles every dream in gentle peace. Oliver continued his story in a quiet whisper, describing how the sky lanterns carried their bright golden light high above the clouds, lighting up the path for the night moon as it glided across the sky. Up in the quiet heavens, where the wind was as soft as a feather, the lanterns danced in slow circles around the stars, shedding tiny drops of stardust that fell gently onto the earth below. This stardust was invisible to the eye, but when it touched the roofs of sleeping homes, it brought sweet, peaceful dreams of sunny meadows, clear streams, and endless fields of blooming wildflowers. The story felt warm, magical, and deeply soothing. Pip's imagination drifted along with the story, envisioning beautiful starry realms filled with endless quiet light. The golden stardust of the story settled over their thoughts, bringing sweet visions of sunny meadows and blossoming spring flowers. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. The golden stardust of the story settled over their thoughts, bringing sweet visions of sunny meadows and blossoming spring flowers. Pip's eyes closed fully now, though his ears still twitched softly at the comforting sound of Oliver's voice. In his mind, he could picture his little floral lantern drifting along the river, its pressed marigold petals glowing bright yellow against the dark water. He imagined the little lantern floating past sleeping water lilies, under mossy stone bridges, and out into the vast, calm lake at the end of the valley, where thousands of lanterns rested together like a glowing golden garden under the silver moon. The image brought a deep sense of contentment to his heart, filling him with warmth, peace, and quiet happiness. His breathing slowed to a peaceful, steady cadence as he drifted on the border of sweet sleep. Pip's heart was filled with quiet contentment, knowing that his little floral lantern was floating safely on the golden lake of dreams. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Every sound in the valley was muted and gentle, lulling every living creature into a state of deep, unbroken peace. Oliver gently patted Pip's back in a slow, rhythmic motion, synchronized with the cub's calm breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4, in and out, slow and deep. The warmth of the room, the cozy fleece blankets, the gentle scent of lavender and beeswax, and the steady sound of the river all combined to create a perfect sanctuary of rest. There was nowhere else Pip needed to be, nothing else he needed to do, except lie quietly in his warm bed and allow sleep to embrace him completely. The rhythm of his heart slowed to match the tranquil atmosphere of the night. The world outside faded away into a peaceful distance, leaving only warmth, safety, and deep, quiet rest. With every slow breath in and out, tension melted away completely, leaving only warmth, softness, and peaceful stillness. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Every sound in the valley was muted and gentle, lulling every living creature into a state of deep, unbroken peace. Seeing that Pip was now fast asleep, Oliver stood up quietly from the edge of the mattress, taking care not to make a sound on the wooden floorboards. He adjusted the blanket once more over Pip's shoulders, ensuring the little cub was warm and cozy for the rest of the night. Oliver smiled down at his young apprentice with deep affection, feeling grateful for the quiet joy and wonder Pip brought to his life and work. Stepping softly to the ladder, Oliver climbed down into the main workshop room, leaving the loft hatch partially open so the warmth from below would continue to rise throughout the night. The loft was now a quiet haven of peaceful dreams, protected by the warmth of the cottage and the quiet night sky. The workshop below rested in quiet darkness, leaving the sleeping loft as a cozy haven of quiet dreams and serene rest. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. As the night deepens, the moonlight wraps the peaceful village in pure serenity. Down in the workshop, Oliver walked over to his workbench to clean up his tools before retiring for the night. He carefully washed the horsehair brushes in a bowl of clear water, smoothed the bristles, and laid them out on a dry linen cloth to dry. He sealed the clay jars of natural rice paste and beeswax, setting them neatly on the wooden shelves alongside rolls of mulberry paper and spools of hemp cord. The act of tidying his workspace was itself a peaceful, mindful routine that allowed Oliver to unwind after the long day, preparing his own mind for quiet rest. With everything in its proper place, a satisfying sense of order and calm settled over the workshop. Every tool placed neatly on the shelf reflected the mindful care of the artisan, preparing the workshop for a peaceful tomorrow. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Every sound in the valley was muted and gentle, lulling every living creature into a state of deep, unbroken peace. With his workbench clean, Oliver walked over to the open window to take one last look out at the night. The valley was now completely bathed in silent moonlight, the silver light resting on the calm waters of the river like a sheet of polished metal. The hanging garlands along the paths had burned down to faint amber glows, and no people were left walking the cobblestone lanes. All of Lanternwood was at peace, resting deeply under the starry sky. Oliver felt a profound sense of harmony with the world around him, knowing that the simple beauty of the festival had brought warmth and comfort to every heart. The peaceful stillness of the valley washed over him, filling his spirit with quiet serenity. Looking out at the sleeping valley, Oliver felt a deep gratitude for the quiet beauty of life and the peaceful night surrounding them. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Sweet dreams float softly across the vast starry sky tonight. Sweet dreams float softly across the vast starry sky tonight. Oliver pulled the window shutter closed, turning the latch gently until it clicked into place. The cozy workshop was now enclosed in a warm, dark hush, lit only by the tiny oil nightlight resting on a stone ledge near the hearth. The hearth embers glowed soft orange, radiating a gentle heat that kept the room pleasantly warm. Oliver poured himself one final small cup of cool spring water from a stone pitcher, sipping it slowly as he stood by the quiet hearth. He felt a pleasant heaviness in his own limbs, a sign that his body too was ready for deep, restorative sleep. The quiet warmth of the room enveloped him, inviting him to release every remaining thought of the day. The cottage was enclosed in a warm, dark hush, insulated from the outside world by thick oak walls and gentle hearth embers. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Every sound in the valley was muted and gentle, lulling every living creature into a state of deep, unbroken peace. Oliver walked over to his own comfortable bed in the corner of the lower room, which was dressed in thick cotton sheets and heavy woolen quilts. He unbuttoned his linen apron, hanging it neatly on a wooden peg near the door, and slipped off his leather boots. Sinking into the soft mattress, the mattress yielded gently to his weight, supporting his back and shoulders in total comfort. He pulled the warm quilt up over his chest, nestling his head into the plump down pillow. He took a deep, slow breath, releasing all the physical tension from his day, welcoming the rest. His body relaxed completely into the bed, feeling safe, warm, and deeply at peace. Sinking into his bed, Oliver released all effort from his body, allowing the soft mattress and warm quilts to support him completely. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Every sound in the valley was muted and gentle, lulling every living creature into a state of deep, unbroken peace. Lying in the warm dark, Oliver closed his eyes and listened to the peaceful sounds of his home. He heard the faint, slow purr of little Pip sleeping peacefully in the loft above. He heard the quiet crackle of the dying hearth embers as they settled into ashes. And through the wooden walls, he heard the eternal, soothing whisper of the Mirror River flowing gently through the valley, carrying its cargo of quiet wishes out toward the open sea. The rhythm of the river seemed to match the calm pulse of his own heart, lulling him into a serene state of quiet stillness. The night surrounded him like a soft, protective cloak, encouraging deep and unbroken slumber. Listening to the peaceful sounds of his home, Oliver felt his mind settle into a state of quiet, unbroken tranquility. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Every sound in the valley was muted and gentle, lulling every living creature into a state of deep, unbroken peace. Soft starlight shines down gently upon the peaceful sleeping valley. In his mind's eye, Oliver watched a single sky lantern floating higher and higher through the starry night, drifting past glowing clouds and ancient mountain peaks. The light of the lantern was soft and warm, casting a gentle beacon of peace across the quiet earth below. He felt a deep gratitude for his quiet life in Lanternwood Valley, for his craft, for his friends, and for the simple, timeless beauty of the natural world. With every slow exhale, his thoughts drifted further away, dissolving into the warm, comforting darkness of sleep, surrounded by love and quiet light. His mind let go of all images, drifting smoothly into the deep ocean of silent rest. The single sky lantern drifting past distant mountain peaks shone like a gentle beacon of peace, blessing the sleeping world below. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Every sound in the valley was muted and gentle, lulling every living creature into a state of deep, unbroken peace. The night wore on softly over Lanternwood Valley, wrapped in a blanket of silent moonlight and cool mountain air. Out on the river, the last remaining water lanterns floated quietly past asleep willow trees and resting river birds, their golden flames burning steady and true. Down in the valley meadows, the dew settled gently onto the grass blades, sparkling like fallen stars under the silver orb of the full moon. Every cottage along the cobblestone paths was dark and peaceful, their inhabitants dreaming sweet, calming dreams under warm woolen quilts, protected from all care. The stillness of the night was complete, holding the entire community in a sanctuary of healing rest. The valley slept deeply under the starry sky, wrapped in a blanket of silent moonlight and cool mountain air. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Every sound in the valley was muted and gentle, lulling every living creature into a state of deep, unbroken peace. As the night deepens, soft starlight guides your mind into deep, unbroken rest. Steady warmth throughout the night. Deep within the cozy workshop cottage by the water, Oliver and Pip slept soundly, their breathing slow, regular, and deep. The air in the cottage remained warm and sweet, filled with the lingering scent of lavender ribbons, beeswax, and dried chamomile blossoms. The small oil nightlight flickered softly one last time before gently going out, leaving the room in a state of soft, velvety darkness illuminated only by the faint silver rays of moonlight filtering through the upper window slit, creating peaceful shapes on the wooden floor. The quiet sanctuary of their home was filled with peaceful energy, nurturing their bodies and minds as they slept. All was calm, all was quiet, and the darkness was gentle and friendly. The sweet fragrance of lavender and chamomile lingered in the dark cottage, nurturing deep and restorative slumber throughout the night. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Every sound in the valley was muted and gentle, lulling every living creature into a state of deep, unbroken peace. Sleep embraced the entire valley with a gentle, healing touch. In the quiet forest groves surrounding the village, sleeping deer nestled together under ancient pine trees, while sleepy owls rested motionless on high oak branches. The river flowed on, constant and peaceful, its gentle lullaby singing to the land as it had done for thousands of years. There was no hurry, no worry, no noise, only the boundless peace of a quiet night in a world filled with harmony and grace, inviting every soul to rest deeply. The earth rested in quiet gratitude, refreshed by the silent cool of the starlit night. The river continued its soft, endless lullaby, singing to the sleeping earth as it had done for centuries past. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Every sound in the valley was muted and gentle, lulling every living creature into a state of deep, unbroken peace. The river continued its soft, endless lullaby, singing to the sleeping earth as it had done for centuries past. The river continued its soft, endless lullaby, singing to the sleeping earth as it had done for centuries past. Rest quietly now, knowing that all is well in Lanternwood Valley tonight. As the hours passed toward dawn, the sky lantern that Oliver and Pip had released together hovered high above the highest mountain peak, floating serenely in the silent upper atmosphere. It shone like a gentle guardian star, casting its soft warm glow down over the sleeping valley below. Anyone who looked upon its distant light from afar felt a sudden wave of quiet comfort, a gentle reminder that they were safe, loved, and protected under the vast night sky, cradled by the gentle universe. The golden light beamed down softly, a beacon of peaceful dreams and gentle hope for all. The guardian light in the sky beamed down with soft warmth, reminding every sleeping creature that they were safe and loved. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Every sound in the valley was muted and gentle, lulling every living creature into a state of deep, unbroken peace. The guardian light in the sky beamed down with soft warmth, reminding every sleeping creature that they were safe and loved. If you listen closely in the quiet of your own room, you can hear the faint whisper of the Lanternwood River flowing softly past the mossy stone bridges. You can feel the cozy warmth of the workshop hearth, the soft touch of the fleece blanket around your shoulders, and the soothing scent of lavender on the night breeze. Allow your body to rest completely, just as little Pip rested in his sweetgrass bed, knowing that all is well and peaceful in the world tonight, as quiet dreams descend. Let your muscles melt into complete relaxation, releasing every tension into the soft warmth of your bed. Allowing every thought to fade into silence, the body rested deeply, surrendering to the gentle healing power of sleep. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Every sound in the valley was muted and gentle, lulling every living creature into a state of deep, unbroken peace. Allowing every thought to fade into silence, the body rested deeply, surrendering to the gentle healing power of sleep. Warm golden reflections linger quietly. Let your eyes remain softly closed as the gentle rhythm of your breathing carries you deeper into rest. Breathe in the soft, warm golden light of the lantern, and breathe out all tiredness and tension into the cool night air. The festival has ended, the lanterns have drifted safely home, and the night belongs to deep, unbroken, restorative sleep. Rest now, dream sweetly, and sleep peacefully under the soft glow of the lantern moon. Good night, quiet valley, good night, peaceful world. Deep, restful, tranquil sleep cradles you now, wrapping you in endless peace until the soft dawn arrives. Rest now in perfect peace, surrounded by love and quiet light, as sweet dreams carry you through the tranquil night. The soft evening air carried a profound sense of quiet rest and security. Every sound in the valley was muted and gentle, lulling every living creature into a state of deep, unbroken peace. Rest now in perfect peace, surrounded by love and quiet light, as sweet dreams carry you through the tranquil night. Soft starlight shines down gently upon the peaceful sleeping valley.